about some certain issues, and at the end of the day, you've had a situation whereby you find out that it wasn't exactly what it is. But would you say, as a presidential spokesman, you definitely manage the communication for the president. Would you say you guys have effectively managed communication, from the presidency to the polity
in the last 2 years?
Pretty well, as it is.
We do our bit. We do our bit. Like they say, the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. But we do our bit. We do our bit.
Like I said, in Nigeria, we have the president's spokesperson in the building this morning, Femi Adesina. Feel free to send in your WhatsApp messages and also Twitter messages. It's at CT1051, and also your WhatsApp messages to 0909-916-4403. Still on the Southern Kaduna killing as it stands at this point, what is the stand of the presidency in that matter? What are the things that have been put in place to stop the killings from Fulani herdsmen, community clashing, and killings of innocent people?
Bombing of the IDP camp.
Yes, well, the Southern Kaduna specifically, you know that the president gave some instructions. One, there are 2 military formations that are going to be sited in that area. Okay. 2. So that, because you know that area is prone to eruptions. The governor said between 1980 and now, about 20,000 people have been killed in that region alone. So cumulatively, that shows you that from time to time it erupts. This is not the only time it has happened. So the president has given instructions. 2 military formations are going to be sited in that area. And then, of course, you know that as we speak, the military is there. Like I said earlier, the military can't be deployed except the president.
All right, then. Taking it from where the point MD raised, and I'm going to take this from some of the concerns that have been raised by especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
Big Brother Nigeria is on right now, and the presidency through the NBC is probing why it's not being held in Nigeria. Whereas a situation like the bombing of the IDP camp, from what we see, we haven't heard about any probe. Why is the presidency trying to probe?
You're not quite right.
Why is the presidency through the NBC probing Big Brother Nigeria?
You're not quite right.
Please keep us up to date.
You're not quite right. The probing of the accidental bombing of the IDP camp, a probe panel was set up within 24 hours.
Okay.
Within 24 hours by the Nigerian Air Force, which is the agency, which is the arm of the armed forces that should do it. It was set up within 24 hours.
But after the time that news broke, and the pilots and quite a number of other people were also called for questioning, we haven't heard so much about it.
Because a panel is sitting, and a panel will not sit on the pages of newspapers or on radio stations. The next you will hear will just be the results of the poll.
Okay, Mr. Adesina, moving on. I think 2 years on, the masses are still very bitter and angry at the whole situation in the economy. People are not happy. People are suffering. What is the plan? What is the roadmap? Can people see the light somewhere? Some form of encouragement?
Yeah, if you say they are bitter, I'll say that's not the way to go. Bitterness is not the way.
An angry man is an angry
yes,
man.
if they are bitter, it's a wrong sentiment, it's a wrong emotion. Bitterness is not what it calls for.
Yeah.
Rather, it calls for hope. Let me tell you about Venezuela. Venezuela is an oil-producing country like Nigeria. It became a mono economy just like Nigeria. Standard of living in Venezuela was better than Nigeria's. In Venezuela then, with just about 100 naira, you could fill the tank of your SUV, while you need about 10,000 to do the same in Nigeria. Standard of living was a lot better. What is happening in Venezuela today? There are food queues everywhere. Venezuelans go across the border to get food to eat now. Why? Because oil prices crashed internationally, and the lives of Venezuelans just crashed with it. So Nigeria is still in a better position than even Venezuela that was ahead of us. We should thank God. We should thank God rather than being bitter. Now, I will tell you a story I've told a number of times. One, in the evenings, once in a while, I just walk across to the president's house, just on a social visit.
Okay.
And one night I went like that, and we were talking. And I told him, Mr. President, do you know that a lot of Nigerians are hungry? and they are dispirited. Mr. President said, yes, I know. I know that even from my constituency in Katsina, people come to visit me in State House like this and they tell me what they are going through. So Mr. President told me that he knew what they were going through. And you know how he concluded? He said, we are here. We will do our best. We will do our best to bring change to the lives of our people.
So he's aware?
Yes, he's aware, and that's his determination. Don't forget the last October 1 broadcast. The president said all his life he had earned salaries. And so he knows how it is when salary is not enough, or when salaries begin to fail. That he knows how it is. Now, having acknowledged that, he doesn't need to keep repeating it every day. He just needs to roll up his sleeve and walk. And that is what the president is doing.
Okay, don't you think it's based on non-performance by some ministers? It's not high time we had a reshuffle of the cabinet?
The cabinets.
Well, what you need to know in that kind of situation is that there is a man who assembled the cabinet.
Okay.
When he assembled it, there is what you call timelines and deliverables. He must have given timelines to this minister, and this is what you must deliver within that period.
I see.
Therefore, he is the best person to also assess them based on timelines and deliverables he gave them. So, the people will have their say. They will ventilate their opinions. Mr. President will listen. But at the end of the day, he is the one who can give a dispassionate assessment of every minister because he knew the timeline and the deliverable he gave them.